about a certain person that through a phone call, which I didn't care to talk to him, through a boss named Max from M&M Movers. He said, you think you're better than people when in reality, he's the one that made me feel like I shouldn't be talking this, and the other thing. Where the one day I did work with him, his name was Rob. I believe that's what he says, right? There's comical things that happen. I was kind of laughing to myself, and I know some of you are like, mind readers or whatever you do, you're laughing at it too because I'm gonna get into the part. Actually, no, let me go to the funny part because it was the best. It's like you talk about he has two kids. They're two 7 years old. So I'm like, oh, this guy needs money, this and the other thing. And immediately, he says he bought his son like a toy, I don't know, like a little car or whatever. But he's talking about, I'm like, oh, so you have kids, you have dependents, this and that. He starts talking about his chains, his chains and his Rolex watches, and he wants to buy his new piece like a couple grand. I'm like, wow, man, like, where are your freaking priorities, dude? You know, I get it. I have some jewelry, but it's minuscule, it's inexpensive. I don't care about the big gold, flashy, white gold, this and that, and to impress people, or like, have a couple thousand of dollars on me, wearing. And just from my standpoint, it's tacky and cheesy, and it promotes a lot of negative behavior. People see that, and that's easy money right there if they could get it from you. And it's flashes like, look at me, I have money, bling, bling, bling. I don't care for that. But it was just funny that he said that after having, saying he has two kids. And, he made abundantly clear that he buys himself this and the other thing. But, there's another thing he was talking about, like, his baby mama, someone passed away or some shit. I don't even know. I don't want to ask too many details, but then he's talking about his sexual escapades, this and the other thing, and I get it. Some people say, well, that's probably locker room talk, this and that. I'm just a guy, like, even if I had a sexual escapade with females, I don't openly brag or talk about it. I'm not the type of guy to be like, yeah, I did this. It's just, and he was telling about his threesomes. His ecstasy, him and his, like, two other girls, how they popped ecstasy and one was asleep and he just took out his, dick and he put it on her face. Is that a cock? And she just started sucking it. Sucking it, It was weird. I'm not saying it was sexual assault, but it was fucking disgusting, Like a chick is passed out, and you're on E, right? You're on E. He said she was on E too, and she just, it was the best thing he ever had. It was just gross. Crazy part was he told me that story when we got to the unloading area, the storage facility, and there was a damaged table dish there, but that wasn't important. It was more important than him talking about his drug habits and having sex with multiple chicks, and then he talked about like he ate a girl's ass out. I'm like, I get it, dude. You're like in the bedroom, you do stuff. I just don't want to hear about it. It was disgusting, man. Fucking gross. But talk about being better than people. I wouldn't do that. Oh, I don't do this, so I'm better. It just like it creeps me out. But what really got me aggravated, we're at the loading place for that same job, and it's like 10 or 15 minutes in, he walks in, this and the other thing. I think I said something like, uh, let's just do one room at a time. Actually, if you go M&M Movers, it says that, it says it misspelled on their board though. That you should, I think it says, I don't know if it said, but I think it says like move one move at a time, just, to get rid of items. Also, it's a psychological thing. You're doing one thing, this and the other, instead of just being all over the place. So I said, oh, why don't we just, are we going to, move this? He said, hey, listen, I got this. Okay, let me do this. You just do whatever. He didn't say do it. He's like, I'm doing this. Like, what the fuck did I do? Well, what are you talking about? I want to have a conversation. I think, it should say on the board about establishing decent communication with your helpers and laborers, right? You know? It was just like his ego came into play. Like I realized, obviously I knew the guy was cocky and arrogant from the first time I talked to him. And some people say that's that hood thing. No, I grew up in a certain neighborhood. I get it. You talk a certain this and the other thing. I don't attribute it to that. I attribute it to him being just a douchebag. Seriously. He's telling me he's been in this company for like over 20 years. And and the company had different names, this and the other thing. I'm like, well, all right, whatever. I didn't pay attention to that. I was like, and he's like, yeah, I've got a lot of experience. I did this. I'm like, all right, great. Like, I'm the one thinks they're better than people. Really, bro? Is that projection, huh? It's a hell of a thing, buddy. And then, I mean, obviously, dude's on his phone texting and like watching videos or some shit. Maxie over there. I'm calling Maxie because he's a little juvenile in the mind. He installed this. It's a device that if you're driving too fast or if you're like on the phone, it says distracted, distracted and stuff. But I mean, obviously, what's the point of installing that? Well, those two drivers. I don't know if the third one. They're on the phone. It's like it violates that to begin with. I mean, it's pointless. It's illogical. It's someone that presumably even has that on the wall and says we're ethical, this and that, we don't do that, but then they go do it nonetheless. So why do you even care to do that? Is it because you want to appear as such? Because we're at 10, 15 minutes in, I know you're fake. I know you're fraud. I know you don't care about that. But that's one of the reasons, like, he got me really aggravated, and I was just, I was in a bad mood. I really was. But I was like, I'm not going to focus on that, it's like me and the other guy's name was Andre. That was the second day I worked with, and he was moving fast as well. We started wrapping furniture, this and that. We moved boxes in and out, in and out. It was like, I think 45 minutes to an hour, like all the boxes were done, and a lot of furniture as well, So we moved really fast in and out, and then the guy's like, oh, Andre, yeah, I like you. I could see you working with me. And like, I'm there too. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to work with you, bro. I don't care if you get the best job, the most hours. Like, I don't want to be put down, being disrespectful for like fucking what? Trying to, communicate about the job, It's just a petty juvenile mindset, He's the boss, he's the man. And the crazy part was, these people park at it's called, I forget what it's called. It's a gas station, a 7-Eleven, and the pantry. It's like they go like a mile and a half from their office, and they stand there. Someone gets some food, but a lot of them just smoke their weed before work. I didn't even say that, but it's just weird, man. Like, there's no good food. Why do you fucking go there to begin with? But I think they like that stuff nonetheless, which was very odd. But we go in there and like Rob over there, we get in a truck and he's like, I'm not like the other guys. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke weed, man. And he has this pack of Newports. I think it was 100. Was it 100, Rob? I'm like, I didn't say I quit cigarettes. I'm smoking tobacco. So I was like, oh yeah, this and that. He's like, because I'm on parole. I'm like, that doesn't make you feel any better, bro. Like, you think you're what? You're like a blessing to fucking the world. Like, why don't you do drugs in the open? It's like you're on parole, but of course you shouldn't do drugs, you idiot. and just talk about not just irony, but it's like I thought this guy was like straight. He's like no man, I'm all about because he got big muscles, he's kind of fit, but I mean maybe he does something to lose his weight, right? Then I started thinking like, why is he even saying that shit? But like that makes you look bad. I'm with the guy that's high is passing out. At least he's honest about his shit. So this dude's like, fucking, I'm on parole, I gotta, this and the other. Like, parole is like, you've been locked up. She told me, like, 9 months he went in prison or something. Oh, 9 months he's on parole. I don't even fucking want to get into that. That's just personal business. But, the conversation I was talking to, the owner, some owner of M&M, Max, and this guy chimes in and he starts saying, I'm on crack and alcohol, beer. I mean, I get it. I'm drinking beer, but like, why the fuck would you say I smoke crack? Is that some projection you're doing? When did you ever notice in my behavior that I smoke crack cocaine? Okay, fine. Once in 2001, I didn't want that. I was in a program. That was over 20 years ago, and I hated the fuck out of crack cocaine. I thought it was the stupidest shit ever, But Robbie over there was, ecstasy pills and, menage a trois, He presumes that I'm a crack cocaine addict. Like Mark Vaughn from Phone Live does as well. You guys are ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why would you say that? I want to know.